Big update in the Lil Durk case. A
Lil
bunch of
Durk.
motions were filed today for both sides. They're both fighting to try to get evidence out of the trial next month. Durk's lawyers are saying the government is trying to sneak in evidence that shouldn't be in there. And the government's also trying to say he's trying to sneak in his out-of-court statements. It's a battle. Hit subscribe, let's go. Our first one we got here is government's motion eliminating number 5 to admit.
And that shit matters so much, gang, because when you in a trial, man. Now, listen, last time I did a Lil Durk video, y'all got mad at me because I said that I hope he don't come home. When I said I hope he don't come home, I'm not saying I hope he never comes home. I hope that he don't beat the case if he did it. That's what I'm saying. But people like taking shit out of context, and I don't know, that's just that. But yeah, like if he did it, which I'm pretty sure he had something to do with that. You're not about to tell me that Lil Durk knew that his homies was going. Lil Durk didn't know that his homies was going to LA to try to kill Quando Rondo. You think you think he didn't know nothing about that? You think he didn't send them? You think he didn't help plan it? You think he didn't know after? He has something to do with it, bro. Point blank, period. And when you're doing stuff like that and you're killing people, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you. I'm not gonna hope that you get free. I'm not gonna hope that you know what I'm saying? What I do hope is that justice is served for the family of the victims. But I don't feel too bad for them either because they was in the streets too. So it's like I don't feel bad for anybody around the situation. But you got to learn your lesson, bro. You are a multi-millionaire with 20 kids, a wife, a whole conglomerate of people that you taking care of, that you paying these people bills. And you go out there and risk your entire life and your whole freedom so that you can get some give back after the internet gassed you up. No, I don't hope you beat the case, bro. Because I think you did it personally.
Thanks, pissed me off. Music video and audio. Oh boy. More lyrics and music and a federal trial. Let's go. After the November 2020 shooting of King Von, defendant Banks and other OTF members face immense public pressure to exact revenge for Von's killing. That pressure came from fans and foes alike. Slide for Von movement. At trial, the government seeks to admit a single music video with its audio. Defendant Banks pissed me off, quote unquote. That's highly probative to demonstrate to the jury defendant's message following Von's death that defendant did in fact intend to slide for Von. Such evidence is direct evidence of defendant's involvement in the criminal conspiracy and otherwise inextricably intertwined with the charge in this case. But it could just be cap rap though. What are the lyrics in this song? Pissed me off. I lost, bro. I can't be happy till we creep up on the score. I know N-words act like
it can't be cap. Okay, yeah, it could be cap rap, but y'all gotta stop that, bro. When you have a song after your homie dies on, let's say he dies on January 1st, and then on January 5th, you make a song talking about how you gonna go kill some people for what they did, and then you and your homies, people who are see. The case is about Lil Durk. They trying to see if Lil Durk has something to do with it. They already his homies is cooked. They're done. The feds have already identified them niggas to be the shooters. So it's like when you rapping about this and this is what's really going on, what is the feds supposed to think? If you rap about and you talking about going to kill somebody for your homie, and then your people who you in pictures with, people who you talk to every day, end up on a flight to LA to kill this man after they killed your friend, of course they gonna use it in evidence. It's not just cap rap. This is not the only evidence they have. This is just the evidence that they stacking on top of it. Running a small business is super, super hard. Finding the money that you need to grow that business is even harder. There are 36 million small businesses in the United States of America, and more than 70% of them need additional funding at least once a year. But a traditional banker puts you in paperwork and make you wait months for just an answer. You don't even know if you got approved or denied for like 5 months messing with a regular bank. And that's where today's sponsor comes in. If your business makes at least $25,000 in monthly revenue, Delta Capital offers business funding. Now, with an application that takes under 5 minutes, has zero impact on your personal credit, and you can get approved in a few minutes, you need to apply. If you meet the requirements, you need to fill out an application. No gatekeeping, no runaround, just real capital for businesses that have genuinely earned it. Your business is generating at least $25,000 a month. You qualify to apply. Click the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen to get same-day business funding up to $500,000. $500,000. Fast funding for businesses built to grow. Because if I make a song and say, yeah, I slid on that dude, I was on First Street, and you know I killed 2 dudes in the back with the heat, the police ain't coming after me because I ain't connected to no fucking murders. You see how that work?
With it, but they bitches in the low. Put up money for a gun, put up money for a hot car, put up money for a bond. I got killers that I love and they don't rap. I got rappers that I love and they gon' splat. If I die, just don't die, man. You N-words better slide. If you can't get the main N-word, then you better get his guys. Mention bro and them on live. Now he can't laugh now. So clearly there are lyrics about him being pissed off at ops and wants to slide on ops and shit. He released a music video on October 21 that attempted to turn the narrative on its head. In the song video, defendant affirms his resolve to avenge Von's death and criticizes those who would rather party in clubs and post on social media than pick up a gun or get revenge or otherwise contribute to the cause. In both lyric admissions, just a crazy statement. Y'all know how I feel about lyrics and trials. There's got to be a nexus to the crimes involved. But I guess since this is a gang conspiracy, then pretty much anything
flies.
Visual
bro.
depictions during the
yeah, it's like I get what people be saying about the lyrics, but you also have to put the blame on the rapper. Nigga, you're involved with real murders. People around you are really getting killed. People around you are really killing people. So you going on a song and talking about this, especially when you could have been nigga. Bro, you got songs called Granny Crib, and before Von died, bro, Durk was still Durk. He was still rapping love songs for the streets, and like, you know what I'm saying? He might have been talking about the streets, but he wasn't talking about niggas going to kill and murders and all that. But when Von died, a whole new Durk came out. Piss Me Off came out. Aha came out. The song with YTB Fat came out. Like, that's when he turned a whole new leaf, and he got back on this savage shit. He got back on what he was before the auto-tune. You feel me? He could have stayed on that though. He could, if he want to be a street nigga, he still want to slide and put hits out on nigga. He could have did that and still rapped about other shit. You know what I'm saying? And he probably wouldn't even be here, to be honest.
The song and video, defendant publicly pronounced his motive and intent to slide for Von. With striking specificity, instructed others to do the same. Grab a gun if you ain't with it. Put up money for a gun.
Put up money for a hot car. Put up money for a bond.
I don't see you on the regular, but I see you yelling Von. While paying homage to Von's life through attire, memorial, jewelry, and featuring King Von, look-alike, removing all doubt as to who and what the song music video referred. The audio and visuals are not subtle, rather boast in a clear message. Slide for Von and others should support his efforts instead of posting online. The court should admit both the audio and music video. Admissions are material to proving defendant Banks' motive and participation in the murder and stalking conspiracy. Concrete steps to avenge Von's death. Defendant criticizes this perceived unwillingness to put on a mask and commit a violent act of revenge. He lost his bro and that he can't be happy until he evens the score. Again, criticizing others for not participating in violent acts of revenge, despite claiming to support Von online. Defendant eventually found willing participants to hop on that coupe and exact revenge in the 2022 LA murder of SR. Hold on, was one of the cars a coupe? I thought they were like BMW sedans. One was a Lexus,
they might have been both.
Sure. The government will present testimony and other evidence, including the above admission, showing defendant Banks provided funds for hot cars or sliders, stolen vehicles, for the commission of violent acts.
And then you got to think about it too, like this, gang. Everybody around you, none of these niggas got no job. None of them make no beats. None of them engineers. None of them managers. Ain't none of them got no degrees. They not lawyers. They don't got no job. Where they getting the money from? The feds are always going to think that you get the money, gang. So even if you're innocent, bro, and you around, that's why being in the streets is just stupid in general, because you could be around 50 niggas and they all killers and they all robbers. You're going to go down with them 50 niggas, gang. It's prisons and graveyards full of niggas who had nothing to do with nothing, but they homies was doing their thing and they paid the price for it.
Let me go get my during the 2021 Blackshear attempted murder of Quando Rondo. And they have evidence of him paying for cars back then too on the attempt of Quando Rondo at his concert. The government expects co-conspirators to testify that upon learning that SR was killed instead of Quando, defendant was nevertheless elated, since SR had a close relationship with Quando. Hold on. We got snitches saying Durk was all happy they got someone who was close with Quando. Defense lawyers are obviously going to pick apart these snitches. You're only saying what the government wants you to say type shit. You're lying to get out on jail time, you know what I'm saying? But man,
they got to convince the jury,
though. The broad sentiment of the above admissions also align with other admissions by defendant that the government will present at trial. Specifically, the government will present evidence on that August 5th, 2023 in a group text with various of defendant's gang co-conspirators, including defendant Wilson. Bank remarks how crazy it is that others don't slide or hurt motherfuckers, leaving it all up to us. Crazy blood inwards don't slide or hurt motherfuckers, leaving it all up to us. Thought the video defendant wears a V-Roy diamond-crusted necklace. V-Roy was a fallen member of the Chicago gang, I believe. If I remember correctly, V-Roy was like a shooter, but I could be wrong.
V-Roy is Vaughn. T-Roy was a shooter. That was another dude that was with them, but V-Roy is Vaughn.
Oh, allegedly. All right, I'm editing this video, and I was thinking of T-Roy, not V-Roy, who was Vaughn, so I'm an idiot. OTF chain defendant also wears a T-shirt with a picture of Vaughn bearing the words "Long Live Vaughn." Highly probative to the lyrics in the song that call for revenge for the death of Vaughn, as well as displays large amounts of cash, consistent with the allegations for the murder for hire that defendant banks funded the attempts to murder Quando. And all these exhibits are under seal, so we can't see them. Government's motion eliminate to exclude or limit defendant bank's proposed expert testimony. So the government does not want whatever expert the defense has here. Defense has 4 witness experts to testify at trial. First, he noticed Dr. Lance Williams as a proposed gang and drill expert, or drill rap expert. Among other things, Dr. Williams' proposed opinions include drill rap or reality rap, distinct popular culture phenomenon and music genre that should be analytically distinguished from actual gang criminal activity. Despite both referencing similar imagery involving gangs, violence, blah, 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 he has also proposed to opine that participation in drill rap culture does not necessarily indicate participant in gang criminal activity or membership in criminal organization. Rap is separate from gangs, which it kind of is. Like, there's cap rap, there's people that lie in raps all the time.
Yeah.
Like, not everything in all these drill rap songs
is entertainment. It's entertainment, but if you really shot a nigga at 9 o'clock yesterday on 79th Street and you get on a song and say you shot a nigga on 79th Street, and then we pull up a video of somebody who looked just like you shooting somebody else, then we pull up text messages and phone calls and debit cards or credit cards and all this, what the fuck do you want them to think?
Accurate or true. That was the issue in the YSL case. Like, they literally went through all these lyrics, and then defense lawyers would go up there and be like, we don't know for certain any of this is true, and point out lies and add doubt to all of that. Nielsen's proposed testimony includes opinions that rap lyrics should be understood as fiction and often barely resemble the lived realities of the artist performing the lyrics. And many rap lyrics are pure fictionalizations and have no basis in reality. His proposed testimony also includes the opinions that many rap lyrics often depict hyperbolic images of violence. It is commonplace for rappers to perform a beef when in actuality there is none. Third expert is Chantel Britt, music management expert, to opine about professional norms of successful artist music business. According to Ms. Britt, this includes her opinion that hip-hop has not only normalized in the use of possession of luxury items, including public display of cash, jewelry, watches, designer clothing, private planes, etc., but artists are now expected to maintain a certain perceived lifestyle by their fan base as a greater strategic branding strategy. The fourth one is Matthew Busser, proposed entertainment law expert. Strategic choice to feature an artist on a particular song that, before a song is widely released, the lyrics and production are generally subject to a thorough review by executives, legal, and other corporate entities. The government requests the court to exclude and limit the testimony of Dr. Nielsen because it is cumulative to Dr. Williams on the fictionalized nature of rap and is otherwise unsupported, unreliable, irrelevant, untethered to drill rap, and violates Rule 403. Excluding limit the testimony of Mr. Buser, whatever, cumulative to Miss Britt's proposed testimony on music industry norms and otherwise irrelevant and misleading. Exclude any expert from opining about the use or admissibility of rap lyrics in other cases or jurisdictions because such evidence is irrelevant, misleading, confusing, and otherwise violates Rule 403. Dr. Nielsen's proposed testimony violates Daubert Rule 702 and Rule 403 because his generalized opinions are unsupported with facts and otherwise are misleading and unduly prejudicial. Dr. Nielsen provides no factual basis for his opinions on that rap lyrics often barely resemble the live realities of the artist performing the lyrics.
Right.
So the government's saying it's his opinion that rap is cap rap, essentially. His sweeping opinion about all rappers would be misleading in the context of this case, which touches on the specific genre of drill rap.
Well, is this his lawyer saying that, or is the government saying that?
Opinion. You get the point that they're going for here. Now, about his fake beefs would also be prejudicial to the jury's factual determination. A bunch of exhibits here, like emails from all these experts about what they're going to testify to, and a lot of gang culture stuff, culture, identity, rap, identity. 60 pages of emails and shit. People tell me to be a lawyer, bro. I ain't doing all this shit. First of all, I don't think I'm smart enough to be a lawyer. It seems very hard. Pass the bar and all that shit. I'll stick to making my YouTube videos.
Okay.
Next one, government's motion eliminate to preclude defendants from offering their own prior statements. This is a gang murder case involving a subgroup of OTF members who plotted and conspired to kill a rival rapper. The government has provided voluminous discovery of defendants' own statements, including electronic communications and other admissions and lyrics and during podcast interviews.
My grower just texted me. My grower just texted me. He said he got a load. My grower just texted me. He said he got a load. I love my grower, man. Shout out to my grower. You know what I'm saying? I get my loud from the farm. You know what I'm saying? I really want to buy my own weed farm one day. I gotta look through this after this video, see what I want. Yeah. I gotta get what I want, man. Yeah.
A rule of completeness, the law does not permit a defendant to offer his own prior statements for their truth. The court should preclude the defendant from attempting to do so here. Limited admissibility of the defendant's out-of-court statements and avoid mid-trial delays. The government seeks an order from the court requiring that, to the extent the defense seek to admit their own statements during the government's case in chief during cross, the defense preview to the government and the court prior to each trial date any statement of the defendant he intends to admit, so that any evidentiary issues can be addressed outside the trial day, and that defense can be required to identify any such statements that they intend to offer during the defense case and produce them to the government no later than 1 week before trial. This is literally the government saying, we want the defense's strategy for cross-examination of certain witnesses. Low-key, that's what it kind of is. Like, I know they're trying to say, like, we want to know what statements you're going to try to show of your own statements, like what Durk said, actually, to clarify things. I can already imagine Drew Fendling is not going to be happy about this motion here. Our next government's motion eliminated to exclude irrelevant evidence and arguments pursuant to Rule 403. Arguments related to the government's charging decisions and non-operative indictments, including the contents, allegations, charges, blah, 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 are irrelevant. So what this is here is the government saying, we don't want the defense to bring up how we changed the indictment and filed certain charges at different times and all the superseding indictments and change shit.
Right.
Because it is a little scummy how they can do all that. But government charging decisions and prior iterations of the indictments are irrelevant to the pending charges. Such arguments have no place at trial and should be excluded.
It's 95
so
degrees?
Here they quote what Durk's lawyer has said about this, right? The government has presented false evidence to the grand jury to indict him. Defendant Banks has made similar claims in multiple filings. As set forth in the government's motion, Defendant Banks and his representatives have also made various public statements about the government's motive for prosecuting Defendant Banks, including that the government was using this murder case to criminalize black artists for their creativity, and that allegations against Defendant Banks were false and lipstick on a pig. Those arguments and assertions are false or irrelevant and would undoubtedly confuse and mislead the jury. Such arguments would open the door to evidence the court has severed from the August 20th trial. Specifically, the evidence that linking Defendant Banks and his close associates to broader criminality, in addition to his alleged role in SR's murder, prompted the charges in this case. All right, here's more shit they don't want in the case. Celebrity endorsements, fan support, and celebrity business and or music collaborations are irrelevant. So anything about
they're trying to get all that out. So basically, they're trying to get this stuff to not be presented in court. So they don't want this stuff to be presented in court because they feel like it'll sway the jury. So that the prosecutors don't want the defending lawyers to say, oh, you guys brought up all this evidence and this evidence wasn't talking about anything, and look, you guys are trying to railroad my client. They don't want that to persuade the jury into thinking something that it might not be. So they don't want this stuff to be mentioned, basically, is what they're saying. They don't want the business. They don't want the celebrity and all those endorsements because they understand that might sway a jury. If a jury hears that their favorite celebrity is supporting Lil Durk, they might literally just say he's innocent because that. So they don't want that to be mentioned in the trial either.
And people he's collabed with that are famous, they don't want in. Oh, Durk's charitable and philanthropic activities.
So now they saying they don't want this either. They saying it's a murder case. It doesn't matter what he did. It don't matter what he gave to charity. It don't matter what he gave back to his community. It don't matter. This is a murder case. This is the murder case. So we don't care about how generous he was. We don't care about how much money he gave and how much money he spent and what nonprofit he got. We don't care. He should be able to mention that
as well. They don't want anything about him donating or anything like that.
Yeah. So basically they don't, because if you understand trial, bro, in trial, they don't want anybody to basically describe character. So they don't want it to be like, yeah, they don't want to convince the jury like, look, he's a really nice guy. He wouldn't kill anybody. He gives his money to people. He gives money to charity. He wouldn't kill people. Come on, guys. They don't want that. They want it to be like straight up and down. Did he have something to do with this murder?
Family and other irrelevant personal factors. Oh, this is mainly about him having a bunch of kids and shit to support and family to support. And,
right. So they don't want that. Don't bring that up, basically.
They don't want that in the trial. Another motion to omit certain business records. So I think this is just exhibits for Starjet, United Airlines, so all the flights that he had booked or whatever. Southwest Airlines, REI,
He booked a
Uber,
flight on
Verizon,
Southwest?
Exotic Rentals, United Airlines, Signature Flight, T-Mobile, Verizon.
Honestly, bro, I just would have
so all
drove
the
to
evidence
Mexico.
that they have of them, going in stores, booking flights, Ubers. When Durk got rid of his phone, apparently someone went into a Verizon and bought him a new phone after the murders type shit, you know what I'm saying? Now, Durk's lawyers filed a motion here to exclude government's proposed 404B evidence. Government seeks to introduce improper 404B evidence, which should be excluded from trial in the matter as they fail to meet the requirements of Federal Rule of Evidence 404B. Despite the fact that this court has already ruled on what proposed other acts the government may seek to introduce in this trial, the government turned over proposed exhibit list to the defense on July 23rd. So another exhibit just given over in the last week to the defense that they are not happy about. That was a replete with purported evidence outside the scope of the indictment and what this court has otherwise allowed. The crux of what the government seems to be trying to accomplish with this proposed evidence is to circumvent the court's decision that severed out the racketeering portion of the third superseding indictment and sneak it back in through transparently prejudicial statements and images of gang behavior, guns, drugs, jewelry, and unrelated violence, clearly designed to inflame the unconscious biases of the jury. This is not the party's first rodeo in this case regarding 404B argument. That issue should have been settled. The government provided notice of certain proposed evidence back in September 25. What they now seek to introduce is entirely new and entirely unnoticed. That fact alone should cause the improper evidence be excluded from this trial. So here's the exhibits referencing illegal drugs, referencing guns not alleged to be involved in this case, potential criminal action or violence. Look at all these exhibits. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's like 30 exhibits about all this shit. Most of the above are self-explanatory in their admissibility. Inadmissibility. For example, Exhibit 213 involves 2 individuals who are not charged in this case discussing marijuana sales in a text chat January of 23. Exhibit 211 is a group text chat, appears to be discussing armed robbery in September of 2020. Many of the exhibits involve purported speakers that are not defendants, nor are they alleged to be unindicted co-conspirators in this case. None of the exhibits do anything to prove the government's case that a stalking and a murder for hire was committed in LA. The government's attempt to seek in these irrelevant and highly prejudicial other acts without going through the proper 404.
So I think this is Durk's defense saying that they don't want this stuff in the trial. So basically, they don't want the feds to bring up text messages about other crimes that have some stuff to do with other people who may or may not be involved in this specific case.
Should be deeply concerning to this court, particularly when there's already been an order set forth. The government's repeated proclamations that this is a gang case does not make it so. Will we now have to litigate whether or not some unindicted individuals are engaged in the drug trade? Whether an armed robbery was perpetrated in another jurisdiction in 2020? This would cause significant delay in this trial. This creates a significant risk of misleading the jury and confusing the issues. So the government's trying to add all these racketeering other acts or whatever.
Right.
A gang conspiracy. When that's not what this trial is next month. It's just a murder for hire. All that was severed out to another trial. So he's going to have another trial at some point. Right. I didn't even realize that till now. This means Durk is going to have 2 trials.
2 trials.
Pretty much. Kind of crazy. All right. That's pretty much it.
He's going to have 2 trials. He's going to have 2 because I think he's going. I think if I'm not mistaken, the first trial is the murder for hire of Quando Rondo's cousin in LA that we all know about. Which I think that's going to be the hardest trial for him to beat, personally. And then I think the next trial is, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be like the RICO, the gang charges. And I think they're going to bring up the murder of Stephon Mack that happened in Chicago that they say was get back for Lil Durk's brother getting killed. So I don't know. I definitely think the case in LA is going to be, no, honestly, because I ain't going to lie, bro. The case in Chicago, they got the killers are snitching on Durk saying that he paid us to do it. So I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work. Good God bless him, nigga. That's all I can tell you, nigga. God bless you. I don't know what you thought was gonna happen. You out here killing niggas, your ass going to prison.